The Brooklyn Nets' Cam Thomas is probably one of the most underrated players in NBA 2K24. The man gets buckets. Last year, he started 4 games and averaged 39 points in those games. Otherwise, he's more or less a role player. He takes maximum advantage of those opportunities. And in the first two games this season, he's averaging 33 points. So, yeah, someone that I definitely need to address the ratings on ASAP. So we're going to dive in on that. We see off the bat Cam Thomas, 3 level threat, 76 overall. And then starting off with all of his attributes, we're going to go one by one. Driving layup. Last year, Thomas was 43 of 72 on layups per basketball reference, 60% from the field. 37% of those were assisted, and then 2.7 field goal attempts per 36 minutes. Kind of a small sample because it's only 72 shots. Again, he played very limited minutes aside from the games where he really went off. From watching some tape on him, he does take a lot of difficult shots. So the 60% field goal, I used 80 as a base, and then based on his shot creation, the 37% assist rate, we're going to boost that up to an 85. Could have gone higher, but the limited volume of 2.7 really makes me hedge a little bit, and there is a lot of volatility to his field goal percentage. Like, for example, if he shot 55% instead of 60, I think the 80 would be totally fine, given that it was a small sample. I could see myself going back down. However, it could also go up depending on how he performs this season, and getting some additional volume would help maintain this rating. So 85 is what I've got for now. Post fade, he did 1.3 fadeaways per 36, so I'm going to boot this up to a 75. 0.1 on his hook shots, 0.1 hook shots per 36, meaning he's taking one hook shot every 10 games. We could drop that down from a 58. Post control, I'm not really sure what they look at his fadeaway numbers, I think, and then decided to give him a high post rating, but he doesn't post up at all. So we're going to tank this down to a 45, which is below the average for a shooting guard. Draw foul, gets to the line a fair amount. 0.382 free throw rate. Basically, for every 5 field goal attempts, he's taking 2 free throws. Is how to view that. Close shot, 84 of 207, 41% from the field, 33% of those were assisted, and then a whopping 7.9 field goal attempts per 36 minutes. Last year in 2K23, 2K had this at a 94 for what it's worth. I'm going to mention what they had these ratings at the last year as we go through some of their shooting stats. I have this perfect at an 86. The 41 field goal percentage, basically a base of 82, and then based on that shot creation, assisted on a low number for a shooting guard, and then that's the 7.9 field goal attempts. That's high volume for a 2 guard, so 86 is where I got that at. And then mid-range shot, oh boy, 27 of 59 from the field, 46%. Only 22% of those were assisted, 2.2 field goal attempts per 36 minutes, which is a lot for a modern shooting guard. Last year, with worse numbers, 2K gave him a 92 mid-range shot. So we're going to go up to a 94. He creates a lot off the dribble. I want to go through. I didn't do it before this video, but he's probably top 5 for a 2 guard in terms of a lot of his metrics, like the assist percentage and the volume. So a big boost to his mid-range shot there, and that alone adds like 2 points to his overall rating. The 3-point shot, sort of a low volume. He shot 27% as a rookie. He's 32% for his career, but he shot 38% this past year, 51 of 133, the 38 field goal percentage. Only assisted on 45% of those. That is, I cannot stress how the assist rate affects the field goal percentage. When you're just taking catch and shoot jumpers, it's going to enhance your percentage. When you're creating shots off the dribble, it's going to decrease your percentage. So 38%, but over half of his shots are either contested or off the dribble or whatever. That, 2K gives a big boost to players like Luka Doncic for comparable numbers. So if they're going to treat Luka Doncic like this, they are the ones setting the precedent. That's why I'm going to treat Cam Thomas with that same level of precedent. So we're going to boost his three-point rating up to an 85. 87% from the line last year, standard. Ball handle, I'm boosting this up to a 90, believe it or not. 7.0 pick and rolls per 36 minutes per synergy, and then 3.9 isolations per 36. This is one of the league leaders in isolation rate, and I should have jotted down what player he compared most to. I think Paul George was one of the ones that came up. Uh, you know, he definitely leads the Nets in isolation rate, and I think he combined, what is that, 10.9 on ball possessions for Thomas. I believe that's most on the Nets, maybe right there with like Spencer Dinwiddie. So 90 is good, and he does a lot of, as mentioned with all of the shot ratings, he's doing a lot of his scoring off of the dribble. So therefore, it makes sense that he would have a high ball handle rating. Very low pass ratings. Had a 12.7 assist percentage, which is low for a shooting guard, but I don't think he's like a below average passer or anything. 70 is the average for pass IQ for all positions. So at a 65, he's slightly below average. Only a 1.23 assist to turnover ratio. He again does a lot of his. He's going to commit a few more turnovers because he's handling the ball so much when he's out there. But yeah, when you coupled with his limited for a two guard playmaking, 60's fine. Not a factor on the offensive glass. Only an offensive 1% offensive rebound rate, one offensive rebound per 100 possessions. So 30 is totally fine. The dunk ratings, these are completely off. He didn't dunk it all as a rookie. And then last year, he only dunked 5 times. So we're going to drop this 20 points to a 55. And then I don't know why, as a 6'3 guard, he's got, especially one that doesn't dunk at all, why this is so high at a 50. We're going to drop that down to a 35. Shot IQ, worth noting, like Thomas doesn't even have bad shot selection. 57 true shooting on 28 usage rate. I don't think I have a problem with him there, so we're going to boost that to an 80. Hands, handles the ball a lot, let's boost this up to an 80. Typically, players with a high usage rate are going to have a high hands rating because this is them catching the ball on offense. Defensive rebound, 50 is totally fine. 10.1 defensive rebound percentage. 6'3", 215. He's a little bulky for a two guard. We'll boost it up to a 45. This is still a below average rating. He's not a good defender by any stretch, but he's going to be better than players who are 6'3 and 185, for example. Perimeter defense, not a good defender. Got torched for 49 points by Luka Doncic. Obviously, Luka is Luka, but certainly Thomas isn't a big factor on the defensive end. This is kind of his X factor for getting more minutes. His limited defense is the reason why he doesn't play unless multiple stars are out of the lineup. Block rate, 0.6. And steal rate, 1.0%. Basically just some scale cleanup here, nothing major. Lateral quickness is fine. Speed, we're going to boost this to an 80. These are very low athletic ratings, so we're going to boost these up just a little bit. And I do multiples of 5 for everything. Strength, as mentioned, 6'3", 215. Finishes through contact well, which we'll get to when we get to the badges. So 65 strength rating. And then stamina, in those 4 starts, he was playing 38 minutes a game. So we could definitely boost up his stamina rating. Hustle, again, not a great defensive player. I'm sure he's got a lot of hustle on the offensive side of the board, but that doesn't translate to the defensive level. Only 1.0 deflections per 36 minutes, so I'm going to drop that to a 60. Deflections is the main metric that I use for the hustle rating. Durability, we're going to max this out as he has yet to, in 2 years, he has yet to miss a game due to injury. He's played 124 of a possible 124 games, discounting DNP coach's decision. So if he's never gotten hurt, I have no problem maxing him out, and then once he does ever get hurt, we can move forward from there. Pass perception, again, not the most. He's not known for his defense. The consistency ratings, 95 and 40. You would think that this would be, after I've talked about his offense and everything, that he would have a high offensive consistency. I use box plus minus to determine mine. Negative 0.7 offensive box plus minus. And this makes sense because, again, he is a big factor in games where a star is out, like a Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving or whoever. When a star is not out, he's kind of a role player and doesn't have that big of an impact offensively. So why should he have a high offensive consistency if he's not doing it on a game-to-game basis? So we're going to dock this 30 points. He had a negative 0.7 offensive box plus minus last year. And then defensive consistency, this is more or less scale cleanup than anything. Boosting this to a 50. He had a negative 2.0 defensive box plus minus. That's one of the lower marks that you're going to see in the NBA. Typically, players are going to be on average around like 70, which is a zero. Zero is like the average in the NBA. And there isn't a ton of deviation from that. Like the top defensive players in the NBA are a 90, which is basically like a 2 offensive box plus minus. Thomas, on the other hand, is a negative 2. So on the opposite end of the scale, we find a 50. It's very hard for an NBA player to have a 40 or lower defensive consistency because if you're that bad defensively, you probably aren't going to play. Help defense, we'll just average that out to 60. And then intangibles, 70 is exactly where I would peg Thomas because he is a role player, not a starter, although that could change this season. Keep an eye on his role. He has been playing heavy minutes, but that's also been because players like Cam Johnson have been out due to injury. So 70. I previously had to minimize this rating because 78 overall at the moment. We haven't even touched his badges yet. If his rating gets too high, basically Thomas as the 16-minute a game role player should not have a rating in like the 80s or anything like that because then he's going to be playing heavy minutes and he's not even the sixth man on this team normally, at least not last year. That probably is going to change this year, especially as he continues to put up numbers like this. The Nets definitely need his scoring, given that they have less talent on this year's team than they did on last year's team, where they had KD and Kyrie. So I had to minimize this last year, his intangibles rating, in order to get him rated on par with the guys like Finney Smith, Royce O'Neal, Lonnie Walker, etc. However, if you're going to be averaging 30 points per game, I think it's fine for you to have a high overall rating. Let's dive in on the badges. He's only got 5 here, but we are going to do some major surgery, and it's not just briefly looking at the badges that he does have. These are all bronzes. You're going to find not only am I going to be adding badges, but like the quality on some of these badges is just completely off as well. All right, so starting off with his finishing, we are going to give Fearless Finisher. We're going to boost this up to a silver, as mentioned with the draw foul. 0.7 and 1s per 36 minutes. That is very good for a 2-guard. We are going to boost that up to a silver as a result. Acrobat, as mentioned, he creates a lot of shots off the dribble. He's taking difficult shots. I think a bronze Acrobat is fine, and this could go up if he were able to increase his scoring volume just a little bit. But otherwise, I'm on board with he's taking difficult shots and whatnot. And then float game, he was taking 3.4 floaters per 36 minutes last year. As we mentioned, he's got a high close shot rating. Took 7.9 close shots per 36 minutes, so it would stand that He's very good at floaters. We're going to boost that up to a gold. He's got 3 finishing badges. Doesn't finish a lot at the rim, but he is good at the things that he does. Moving on over to shooting, which is where we're going to see the bulk of his changes. Agent 3. The fact that he doesn't have a badge on this is fucking ridiculous. Um, 3.0 threes per 36 minutes of the pull up or step back variety. As mentioned when we went over all of his shooting ratings, he's taking a lot of jumpers off the dribble, and yet he doesn't have any badges related to that. So we're gonna move up to gold. Blinders, I think, is fine in a bronze. Catch and shoot, he was taking six of his. He has 6 off-ball possessions per 36 minutes. 4 of those are catch and shoots, and then 2 of those are either off-screen or handoffs. So as a result, I'm going to give him a bronze for catch and shoot. Comeback kid. In the clutch last year, he shot 60% from the field. So yeah, comeback kid for sure. Definitely is a cold-blooded scorer, not afraid to have the ball in his hands late in games. Corner specialist. I'm going to boost this up to a bronze. It's a little iffy. He only 14 of his 14% of his 3-pointers are from the corner, but he shot 46% on those. So because there's such a drastic increase in his 3-point percentage, above the break versus being in the corner, I think bronze is fine, especially since it's like the letter of the, it increased, the badge itself increases the shooting percentage from the corner, so it's the letter of the law. Like, it is actually true that he is a specialist. It's just that most of his threes are going to be coming off of the dribble, which typically happens not in the corner. Deadeye, 1.3 contested threes per 36 minutes. Again, as I've said ad nauseum throughout this, he's creating a lot of difficult shots off the dribble and contested, so we will give him Deadeye. Green Machine and Guard Up. These are 2 badges that he did not have last year and that 2K added it to him. I already had them at a bronze. And as mentioned ad nausea again, with all of his, he's scoring a lot off the dribble, doing it with the hand in his face, whatnot. So yeah, give him those 2 volume scoring badges. Didn't score enough at volume from deep. I believe he's like 2 for 4 or 2 for 5 so far in his career. He's hitting like 1 shot from this range per year. Not enough to move up, but certainly something that could change. Just keep your eye on it on like a year-to-year basis. Midi Magician. This one is a bronze, but just like with Agent 3, pull-ups and step-backs, Thomas took 3.9 per 36 minutes. That is up there in the NBA, especially in today's game where it's more 3-point focused rather than mid-range. So as one of the few guards in the NBA who scores from this range, absolutely a gold Midi Magician. Slippery off ball, I mentioned before, 2 off-screen or handoff plays per 36 minutes. So we're going to give him a silver. Space Creator, 2.3 step backs per 36 minutes. Not a lot of players utilize the step back. I believe Luka Doncic and James Harden are among, like, James Harden has typically been like the league leader in this. Him and Luka. I think Harden had like a 4.4 per 36, and these are guys those are the Hall of Fame guys, taking like 4 more shots per 36. There are really not a lot of players who take more than 1 step back per 36. So at 2.3, we're actually going to go to a gold with Cam Thomas. Keep your eye on that. It could drop to a silver just based on his volume. We got to get a little more data on him. Has only played, I think, like 2,000 minutes in his career, 1,100 his rookie season, and then like 900 in his second season. And then open looks, I think he shot something like 46% on open looks, either 46 or 44%. Keep the bronze on him. And post fade, mentioned it before, we gave him the 75 rating, 1.3 fadeaways per 36. It's pretty solid for a guard. We'll give him the bronze. And then let's head on over to playmaking. Mentioned before that he's not a good passer for a two guard, especially one who is a volume scorer like he is. So we're not going to give him any passing badges, but he is creating a lot of shots off the dribble. So handles for days, we're going to boost this up to a silver, and then triple strike. He is one of the better isolation scorers in the NBA, so we are going to boost this up to a gold. It's possible that I would need to watch a little bit of tape on him just to see if like physical handles is something that would be worth giving to him. I suspect not because he's not really getting to the rim at will or anything, but it is something to keep track of on like a year-to-year basis. And defense, well, he is not a good defender, so we won't be giving him any badges there. And personality, I don't understand how like the players that they give unpredictable to are kind of iffy, to be honest. I look at John Morant as unpredictable. You know what I mean? I don't think that Cam Thomas, to my knowledge, has not really rocked the boat at all in his career. He's been okay in the locker room, not a problem child or anything. So I'm gonna remove unpredictable from him. And he's an 80 overall. I feel like I might have missed something because when I did this before, I had him at an 81. Let me just review. Let's see if I missed something. I don't think I have him at an 80 intangibles. I don't know. Well, either way, 80 overall. He started off as a 76 overall. In my roster, he's going to be an 81. I'll put in the comments if I can figure out who what the discrepancy was. But yeah, he's one of the top players on the Nets so far this season, and honestly could push Spencer Dinwiddie for the starting job, especially if they are going to commit to Ben Simmons as the starting point guard on this team. They may just prefer Spencer Dinwiddie in that six-man role rather than Cam Thomas. We'll see how things develop throughout the year. If you like this video and you think I got it right or wrong with Cam Thomas, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, be on the lookout for my next breakdown video. Maybe let me know in the comments whether what player you want me to focus on next. Peace out.